Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Imalwe Agbogun say community crisis for Edo State, for Benin City especially, e don increase. The Edo State government and the traditional rulers need to do something to stop the fight wey dey go on for community for Benin City for Edo State. Make I leave you make you for hear from Imalwe Agbogun the message wey bring come today. Try watch this video from beginning to the end. You go hear so many things wey put him out.
It's so painful. It's so painful that the BTC, the Benin Traditional Council, have not really done enough. Even if we see our Abba come out most of the times to advocate that people should not take laws into their hands, the community and the Odion way who they elect in most communities should go and administer the community in peace. You know, people violate all of these things and there is no basic punishment. You see them chasing policemen. It is that bad. This is Obage Nebusa community. It is that bad. You see them chasing policemen. And one thing that pains me more is that these policemen, most times, very recently I was in government house where over this same Dadamasis community and Obage Nebusa, where the two fighting groups, they came. And what pained me that before the glare of the public and including the SSA to the governor, what did the chairman said? He said that every police that they bring to arrest them, that before the police come, the police will also reach out to them. They would give them money and they will play along with them not to arrest them. It is that bad. Somebody that ordinarily has gone to report to the police, and the police is to either arrest or invite these people so that they hear from both sides and correct the wrong. No, the police is after making money. Yes. A warm good afternoon to you all my conscious Edo people and Nigerians across the globe. I remain no other person than yours, noble right activist, comrade Bogu Emmanuel. And if you're just joining me live, I want you to please share and invite. And I also want to use this medium to say happy Salah to all conscious Muslims across the globe, particularly my friends who are far away from me at this celebration time. I wish you all happy Salah. So if you're just joining me live, I want you to share because I'll be saying a whole lot today on my platform, courtesy the lingering community crisis that is currently bedeviling the economic space of Edo State, particularly Edo South Benin City to be precise, the Oba's Kingdom. So if you're just joining me live, I want you to please share and invite. Share and invite, because I'll be saying a whole lot. When I mean a whole lot that has been happening across the globe, across the states that are affecting people across the globe. If you agree with me, a lot of developers who happens to be our brothers and sisters who left the shores of Edo for a greener pasture, you agree with me that they've all been affected, particularly those of them who are actually carrying developmental stripes across the state. They've all been affected in one way or the other, owing to this lingering community leadership tussle and crisis that have rocked Edo South. Not only those in diaspora have been affected, those vulnerable poor citizens that want to, in one way or the other, look for a very, very formidable source of livelihood, they've also been affected. So I'll be saying a whole lot today on this broadcast. That's why I want you to share. I want you to share and invite, because a lot has been happening. When I mean a lot, a whole lot has been happening, owing to the fact that lawlessness, criminals, lies, hatred, intimidation, oppression has been the trademark for community underdevelopment. So if you're just joining me, please, I want you to share and invite. Share. We're going to be also holding a calling section later in the evening where people will made to do their contributions. But I just want to let the world know why you always see me in one form of communal issues, advocating for justice, or the other, because a lot of people appear to be informed by some bloggers across the state, some of which I don't really know their intentions. I believe there's a whole lot of people need to know. You live in a society where we have customary courts, where we have magistrate courts, where we have high courts, where we have federal high courts, where we have appeal courts, where we have supreme courts. And my brother, to be very frank with you, people decide to take laws into their hands because they don't believe in the judiciary anymore. They believe in this jungle justice kind of approach to communal issues that are manageable, in the court of law. Civil issues that ought not to be escalated into criminal matters automatically turns into criminal matters, owing to the fact that a lot of these people, believe that the society we live in is lawless. A lot of these persons who orchestrate this act believe that they can do whatever they want to do and get away with it. So these are part of the reasons why you see us constantly advocating that the right thing be done, that justice should be served. It's so painful, it's so painful that the BTC, the Benin Traditional Council, have not really done enough. Even if we see our Abba come out most of the times to advocate that people should not take laws into their hands, the community and the Odion way who they elect in most communities should go and administer the community in peace. People violate all of these things, and there is no basic punishment that is meted out on them. And that is why you see this growing trend of one party or one group trying to fight the other over community tussles. These are ordinarily what, in those days when we had issues in the community, our forefathers either resolved to, the eco meeting ground to resolve such issues, or rather take it before the palace authority. But these days, people no longer wait for palace authority or even the eco that we ordinarily, use as a medium to interact amongst ourselves as Benin people. People now see it as a means, to toe the path of lawlessness. You can imagine today, as I speak to you, the number of AK-47 and assorted rifle guns we have in Benin City can erupt a civil war. I can tell you, it can erupt a civil war in any part of Benin City, or in fact in the country. You see a young boy who sells a plot of land, gets 20 million. What goes into his mind? I need to get an AK. I need to buy guns. I need to buy ammunitions. I need to prepare for war because war is coming. And these monies they use in all of these things. What pains me more is that those saddled with the constitutional powers to ensure that they put an end to all of these things also collude with most of these criminals. In fact, they even give them soft landing, they aid them. I wonder why somebody who is watching me live on this educative platform is calling me. What do you intend to talk to me? Won't you wait after we must have finished discussing, then you call me to share your opinions? For the acts that our people engage in is so shameful. Going into communal issues and giving me a broader knowledge of how criminals thrive in Edo, particularly in Benin City. I want to say this because I believe strongly in the fact that we can get it right. A lot of people have misinterpreted my person. A lot of people have misinterpreted my person owing to the fact that I have stood up firm to demand justice for victims who are affected by this ugly trend. I want to say this today to shock a lot of people. 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, I never knew what was called community crisis. I don't even know what they call community development. I have lived in Benin, shuttle Benin, Port Harcourt School, Abuja, Benin, Port Harcourt, Abuja. I never knew what was called community hustle. In fact, the very first time I learned about community issue was through my friends. Somebody like Osakwino Coding. Osakwino Coding became a vice chairman sometime around 2006 to 2016 to 2017. Before Osakwino Coding became a community chairman, we had, been friends for nearly a decade. And for crying out loud, I never knew what was called community crisis or community issue. But as a friend who was a vice chairman of a community, I decided to, come on, let us always follow up issues. Most times I go with him when they have their youth sections and all that. We sit down, they bring issues. I try to admonish him on, but this is the best way to resolve. We were, interacting until when they had this boundary dispute between themselves and their neighboring community, a Kumbo community, and I discovered they had a Supreme Court, and I decided to say, come on, if you have a Supreme Court, you are the owner of this land in line with what the law says. So along that line, I started understanding that people who do not respect court orders will go as far as procuring firearms. Sakuno Coding can attest to what I'm saying today, that there was a day we took some developers to get property. I had called some of my friends who, because they had a borrow pit close to where this land was. And I told us, these guys had some money and they wanted to buy land. Let's go show them so I can get agent fee. On getting to the site, we discovered that some policemen were around, they came to do one or two issues. So we took them, showed them the place and left. So while I was coming back, I saw some of his, community youths that were also close to me then. So I stood back to just sit with them a while. They were, drinking and eating some meat and all that. So I stood over. Sakuno told me to wait for him who was coming. My brother, before my very eyes, I saw people coming out with AK-47. They were shooting directly at us. There was nothing, one could do than to run for safety. My brother, that day I ran across the road from the bypass. I never knew I had crossed the road. So that day I picked an interest. I said, if these guys can hold guns like this, I think it's something we should go and meet the commissioner of police for. But to my greatest surprise, in an issue where I ran for safety, the people that we were supposed to write petition against went to the police to write petition that it was Osakwino Kodi and their youths that came to shoot. My goodness. And I said, no, I was there in this issue. I was present. I saw what transpired. So I took a break and I sat to reason all these things. And I went to the police. On getting to the police, police were like, now, normal thing that they do for community. Hey, this one. I said, invite these guys. Let them come. Some of them, people saw them, they were mentioning names. Now, this one, see that one, I hold this AK, that one, I hold barrel. They were just saying it like as if it was fun. And I said, come on, this would have led to the death of somebody. So that was how I came about these community issues. And looking at it, I saw it was a very, very ugly trend. And what pains me more is that in advocating for most of these people, you discover that none of them are virtually free. Some might be averagely, on good conduct, but virtually all of them have one dirty part or the other. I want to cite this issue of Joshua EDO. I've known Joshua EDO as a community chairman since 2018. I think my late friend Otutu Okoro Obaraye was having a property along that area he wanted to sell. So he did sell it to somebody close to me. When he sold the property, the chairman said until when Otutu comes to pay some amount of money, he won't allow those boys to work. In fact, Otutu does not have land there. So at that point in time, I was, becoming very popular on the media space. So I told him, let's go to the community. Let's drive down. I will call Otutu. Otutu said we should go and meet the chairman. Whatever he says, we should let him know before he intervenes. So I went to meet Joshua EDO. And in the process, Joshua EDO now said, no, Otutu is owing them, that the land Otutu has there, community gave it to him, but Otutu has not settled some of the issues, bothering the land. So we should go and meet Otutu. Otutu knows what to do. So I now told Joshua that Otutu has about 10 plots. This one plot he has sold to this young man. Look at this young man. He's trying to put a roof over his family head. And if there's any way you can assist him, let him settle for that particular portion because of some of us who have come. Try to give us a listening ear. And Joshua Edo, in all fairness, did. He listened to us and said we should bring 1 million naira. I now called the young man, do you have this amount of money? He said no. I said, okay, what can you offer? He said he was going to offer 500,000. So I told Joshua Edo that, please, I don't want this boy to give what he has, and at the end of the day, you don't allow him. Joshua Edo insisted that if it's not 1 million naira, this boy was not going to work. So I now told the boy, come on, this land you bought it for about 3 million. And if Joshua Edo is demanding 1 million naira or nobody works there, I think we should just look for a way to pay him in bits. If you give him 500, let's look at it over time. So as we were about to leave, there was a kind of advanced man who was seated there, said, looking at the way I have spoke and looking at the way he saw I was trying to broker peace, that he called Joshua to sit down, that Joshua should take whatever he has and settle the difference with Otutu. Joshua was kind of reluctant. At the end of the day, he now called and said, see, if you go down land, go work. If Otutu no come before 1 week, come see us, come settle the matter. I said, no, Joshua, please, let us get it straight. Joshua fled. He was very angry that day. He was shouting, oh, this one. At the end of the day, the man now told me to go, that he was going to call me the next day. I think that same evening, Joshua himself now called and said, make a no vex. So say he might be spoiled that morning, blah, blah, blah. I said a lot of things. But the tail end is that Joshua collected 600,000 for the settlement of that land. And today the young man has his house in that part of Obazabon. I wouldn't want to mention his name for his, safety and all that, because a lot of people currently in that area who have carried out some atrocities think I'm fighting them. No, I'm not fighting them, because I receive calls every day. You don't want to come on your hand for our community matter, blah, 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 and all of this. Now, what pains me is that in all of these community crises that I've seen, is that you see old men who are supposed to be custodians of truth. They are the ones orchestrating the lies. Very, very, very old men. When you meet old men, people that are older than my father, I see them tell lies like, come on, is this what community is all about? You see them, I've seen most cases, where I have intervened up to the point of force CID Abuja, where people bring false witness to come and testify against individuals because they want them in incarceration. In fact, I've even seen cases where police will even stage manage the interview with their bosses, all because they've been given one particular amount of money or one promises. It is just that bad. But what pains me is that for some of us who see some of this high level of bias and intimidation and destruction and violence, when we come out to preach the truth, you even see those criminals who are orchestrating all of these things. You see them defending themselves at all costs. There's no show of remorse. There's no show of, sincerity. It baffles me. Today, a lot of people will not notice. Today, people like Dada Massis and a few other of them, they've called me that I'm promoting crisis. And I asked, is there any community in Benin that have said, I want to install somebody as a chairman, or I have installed somebody as a chairman? Is there any community in Benin today where there is peace that you say Emmanuel Aibo mobilize boys to that place to go and fight? Is there any? I was so shocked that even in the Damasis community where his youth did this. Where is this video? This video should open. Where his youth came all out to harass policemen sometime in 2023. Yeah? This is policemen and youth in the community. You can see the policemen on black. They are fully armed. These are IROT police officers. You will see how these boys chased these police officers carrying gun. If you even listen very well to this video, You see them, they are chasing policemen. No? You see them. You see them chasing policemen. It is that bad. This is Obage Nebusa community. It is that bad. You see them chasing policemen. And one thing that pains me more is that these policemen, most times, very recently I was in government house where over this same Dadamasis community and Obage Nebusa, where the two fighting groups, they came. And what pained me that before the glare of the public and including the SSA to the governor, what did the chairman said? He said that every police that they bring to arrest them, that before the police come, the police will also reach out to them. They would give them money and they will play along with them not to arrest them. It is that bad. Somebody that ordinarily has gone to report to the police, and the police is to either arrest or invite these people so that they hear from both sides and correct the wrong. No, the police is after making money. They will collect money from party A, collect money from complainants, collect money from suspects. At the end of the day, what are you telling the people to do? Go and die. Go and resort to self-help. I have seen very many of the cases. I wouldn't want to be selective with my statements. Very many. Very, very many. Even the matter in this issue, I was arrested by some police officers from SWAT. When I was arrested, I was taken to for CID admin. When they heard the whole story and I explained myself, the officer was like shocked. He said that was not what they told him. Like they said I'm promoting native war, I'm insulting all retired AIG. And I said, no, that AIG colluded with the criminal to escape investigation at IRT office. They smuggled the young man in his boot and drove out. And I got angry and I came out to the media to say, why would the retired AIG do such a thing? My brother, at the end of the day, they arrested me. They locked me up. When we came for interview, I was insisting that before I write my statement, I want to see the DIG. They said when I'm ready to write my statement, they will know that who am I to see the DIG. At the end of the day, I tried to make phone calls across, my network, and the DIG got to know I was in a cell. The DIG came down himself to ask after me. And when I came out and I explained to the DIG immediately called the AIG and warned him not to use his cell for such a nonsense anymore. Till tomorrow, I still have a petition at the GI that is to investigate this AIG. But the police are playing over it. Till tomorrow, I still have that petition. Till tomorrow. Or is it the issue of Okoroma community? If there was anybody that made Okoroma had a voice till today, Emmanuel Aibogun, was the one who did it. And I'm surprised today when people are saying I'm the one causing crisis. In all I did for Okoroma is why they are still formidable till today. They can attest. What did I do? I told them that you cannot fight in a scattered form. I put them together, cautioned them, tutored them, counseled them, and told them the importance of communication and why everybody must come under the platform to fight as a team. That's why you see those people calling themselves Okoroma today. They are not more than 15 or 20. Those of them who are the aborigines who lived and were born there, they are not up to that amount. The Emokpais and a few others of them. People you see around them are mostly the developers who bought properties there. I was the one who offered them my time, my money, my intellectual property to ensure that they had a formidable front to fight their cause. I never encouraged them to carry arms any single day. I haven't told them on several press briefings that the moment you tow to arms, I will pull out. The moment each and every one of you tow to arms, I will pull out. I created WhatsApp group for them. I guided them. I took them to media houses, showed them and directed them on what needed to be done. In fact, I gave them a voice. I was the one addressing their press conferences. I'll call them, if you guys cannot do that, don't worry, come to my office. I took them on several protests to the office of the Attorney General, to the state command, to the governor's office. I took them everywhere to ensure that their voice was heard. I gave them that aluta force to enable them get their rights. Not until I discovered that some of these boys, while I was advocating for them, they were going about carrying arms. Not until I saw a video on the social media space, and I became very worried. Why will a young man like this, who comes to my office, who's always in my place, why will he go and be bearing arms? Look at this young man in this video. I know him very well, Oz. I know him very, very well. You see him in this video. Watch to see the firearms that this young man will show. Watch to see the firearms that this young man will show. Are you seeing? Are we at war? Are you seeing rifles? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Rifles to do what? To kill people because of sales of land. To kill people because of sales of land. This young man you are seeing that I just showed you now, so this boy, so he comes to my office alongside some other Akoma people. They come to my office to meet me that I should assist them. And I told them, you will get justice, it will take time, but don't go to arms. Don't ever, if you want me to carry arms, I will resist. I will stop following you guys because I cannot be protecting your interests, and also you'll be going against my principles of not towing to arms. Before I know what happened, these guys, they killed a lot of people. And in the process of them killing, they forgot one thing, that I'm already aware of what they were doing. I called most of them, the chairman and the rest. I addressed them. Even guy was a mopai. I know several efforts I made with DIG to deploy police for them to that community. I was shocked that Guy Mobile was still encouraging these boys to tow to arms. As an elderly man, all his children are in America, but he's here using other people's children to kill. And I wonder, on 3 occasions, there are people with several deaths. Now, this is the same area where you see those boys brandishing those guns. Now, put yourself in my shoes. Put yourself in my shoes. That as an activist, you are advocating for people because they feel that they can get it from the other way around. They go and start carrying arms. And you expect me to keep quiet and not come out to condemn what you are doing? Then tomorrow you say, I know that man a criminal, they follow us do work. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I know a lot of police officers, a lot of senior police officers in Edo that promotes these things, that are even aware that these boys have this kind of guns with them. They even collude and give them security. It's so painful. It's just so painful that Benin City has become a dump ground for criminals. It's so painful. It's so painful. So painful. So painful, I must tell you. And when these guys, when they do all of these things, they don't even feel remorse. They don't feel troubled. It's just like what happened recently in Obagi, in Obazabo. I agree, Joshua has a very nonsense character. A lot of people, have spoken very terrible things about him. A lot of people have spoken very many terrible things about him, but does that give the room for you to go and set his house ablaze? I've been cautioning him. I told him, don't take laws into your house. I will stand by you to the last. They cannot burn your house and they are living in their own houses. If they like, let them burn 50 more houses and allege you that you are the one. But don't go to that community. Stay out of it. Let them be alleging you of whatever they are alleging you. But they must tell us who burnt their house. Who burnt your house. They must tell us who killed the Efe Ugbede. They must tell us most of these things, because some of these guys, their level of criminality, they believe that they can do and undo. I have come to understand all of this communal crisis. That's why I say, come on. There's no community in Benin today that a chairman who stays in the office for 6 months will not buy arms. It is not a trend. And that is why cultism is looming. And the moment the chairman stays in the office for 6 months, he must align himself with one of these court groups. Or if he's a member of the court groups, his court members will be a dominant factor in this regime. And as time goes on, you'll see them having a clash. That is why these court groups are very rampant in Benin. There are a lot of things I know that I will not be saying on this broadcast. Because as I rightly said, and I made it very clear in my video to the governor, that If you give us security, we will show you the main people to catch. Not all these petty cultists along town that they are this. We know the real ones, the ones that you will just hold, Edo will remain mute for crying out loud. These charges of charging catch people randomly that the police is doing, no. They are the key figures you must hold and get them to pen. I'm just waiting for the governor to finish his amnesty period. Then I will make some statements. People will be shocked. People will be shocked. See, society cannot move on when you play kid gloves. That is why when people criticize the governor of demolition, my brother, if that is what will stop it, do it. But do it within the ambit of the law. That is what we advocate. In my community, we are still an agrarian settlement. Development has not come that much. But even if development comes, everybody knows where my father owns land, or my grandfather or your grandfather owns land. So will you come and tell me that my great grandfather's land, Imaria Igbogun, you want to come and sell it because you are a community chairman? You will tell me what has happened to your own father's land that you did not sell, or you sold it and you shared the proceeds with me, or what? But so there are a lot of issues with our customary land system that we operate that needs to be looked into seriously. Because when I see the high level of out of school children in Benin, the high level of lazy and redundant youth in Benin, I imagine what this coming generation, because they are much more stubborn than what you are seeing here. If you look at the children that are within the age bracket of 15 to 21 these days, in fact, they talk for pidgin language, say their eye tear from here reach back. Say their eye tear from here reach back. So if we don't manage some of these things, you would see that we are living on a keg of gunpowder. That was how they came all out in a woman community. There was nothing they didn't tell me. They said, Emmanuel Bogun, you are the one causing problem in your community. God knows and God sees my heart that in the issue of a woman, I never supported anybody but listening to the Odion way. When I was brought into the issue, I told the Odion way, what are the challenges you are facing? I took him to the commissioner of police. Explain your issue before the commissioner of police. The commissioner of police called the DPO, called the area commander, and said, "Look, people have to look on how to provide security." When they saw that they could no longer use the police anymore, the police was aware of what was going on. They ran to the military. Before you know, the army was the one calling me and telling me I'm the one creating problem in that part of Benin City. And I went to meet the brigade commander and I told him that look at this video. Somebody brought these boys into the community to shoot at somebody's mother in his presence. Shot the woman dead on the spot. CCTV camera footage showed it everything to Benin. See, today that litigation is no longer going on. One way or the other, they've been able to play around the judiciary because of political support that they were getting from the past administration. Some of these things we know. But by the time you want to speak truth in this our society is very wicked. People can even pay millions of naira just to eliminate you. I know the kind of attempt. Sometimes you'll be driving home, you see 3, 4, 5 boys. They say, they want you now. No, you be the man like Bogun. They see so. I could just look them, I could laugh. So it is so shameful. It is so shameful that you see, when you read the Benin history from the centuries of the 15th century, 16th centuries, and the rest, you agree with me that we're very great people. And I wonder, was it this space that we used in dominating and conquering the world that people are now killing and messing themselves up like that? I can remember what one commissioner of police told me. He said since he came into Benin, he will be sincere with me that he lost respect. He believed that the way he was hearing about Benin, he felt that when he was coming to Benin, he will be meeting sound minds. That the few minds he has seen here are people who they will never allow to aspire to leadership. But the criminals are the ones on top. And you wonder, why is it so? And those criminals are very influential that they can even oppress the enlightened ones. That is what happened in Benin. That is just it. Let nobody deceive anybody. The high time we sit down and tell ourselves the truth, the better. Because I see a generation that we in fact, we make Benin unbearable for everybody. When I mean everybody. Because works are not available, no legitimate jobs. The empowerment program of government and institutions around the states are not helping, are not just helping. So for me, I think for us to nip this thing on the bud, we must begin to tell ourselves the truth and nothing but the truth. I don't have anything against anybody. I don't have any personal thing against. There's nothing they did not say. You guys were in Benin when we were on this media space sometime last year when I was released from prison. I went with the likes of Colin Mudia, Stanley Osakino Kodi, and a few other young men from my coast in Ikobahim. We went to Hexagon to eat fish and listen to live band with my heavy woman by my side. On getting to Hexagon, I just saw three boys. Malo, Uyi, Igebo, and Osapawa, and the rest of them. The next thing they did, what did they do? They were wanting to put me inside their vehicle and drive away. It was that bad. They wanted to move me out. When they saw that people around, the Osakunokodi and a few other of my friends resisted, and cameras were already on, they now had to call the military men. These are criminals. They called in the military men to come and arrest me. And when I took time to explain to the military men, they say, but do you have any proof to show that we collected money? Go and debunk that one on the media. And I laughed. In all of the issue I raised, they didn't say anything. Till today, let me show Edo people one video. Till today, if I'm being called on any platform, this boy you are seeing here, he was brought in all the way from Ondo State to come and be a militia thug to a community chairman. But luck ran against him when the youth from the community who were resisting the chairman mobilized themselves to come in from the bush. And they were in the bush. They went and apprehend them there. But, no, they can't run liver. A lot of things. Then I asked, this guy was caught in Obagi and handed over to the military men who said they were doing one exercise, still water or so, to clean up the place and all that. And that was it. Till date, this boy was not handed over to the police. He was not handed over to the DSS. He was not handed over to any of the sister security agencies that are in charge of investigation and prosecution. No, none. He was never charged to court. This boy was, in one way or the other, because the chairman was so close to some top military guys, he was released. Not only that, I saw somebody making a post, one Anthony Ipe Amadu, saying, what about Obiaza community issues? Now, let me tell you one very shocking story about Obiaza. Obiaza community was the second community after Iguamo community that I spoke about their crisis and intervened for them. What happened in Obiaza community was that they were all living at peace at one point in time, and former Councillor Honorable Efosa wanted to hand over power to a different person. He didn't want the power to go back to Edwin, so he brought in Lucky. Along the line, Edwin and Lucky were having some issues and all that. Edwin is late today, but I believe wherever he is, he can also attest. Kola Edopa is still alive. Kola tried to match peace with them and said we shouldn't be fighting ourselves. There were a series of petitions. Edwin was writing, Lucky was writing. They were going to Zone 5, going to DSS and the rest. And I called Edwin and said, settle with your brother. You are paying policemen 500,000 naira for mobilization. Have you given your wife 500,000 naira to set up a business? And I told Lucky, you are also spending money. If I tell you, give me money, you go say, chair later now, later now. But at the end of the day, you are giving police so much money. Now, listen, let me tell you something. Try to make peace with your brother. What is causing this issue is land. And if you look at what you have spent thus far and what you will still spend, you agree with me that if you call him to say, become a patron or become an advisor to the chairman, take this vehicle, take this also amount of plot of land, you will see you will have peace. There was relative peace. If I go, I used to go to Ubiata. When I go, Princess will cook. The men never die will cook. Those of them that live around there, wage on that axis, they will cook and give me food. Sometimes they won't want me to say, don't go back. There's a guest house along the road. I should sleep there. That they, since the way I came to make peace with them and all that. Not until when Osabonye came and said Ubiata does not exist and wanted to use Edwin to overthrow Lucky. That was how their crisis began. And God sees my heart to show and to the world. Some of them are still alive to attest to it. That never a time did I encourage any party to carry arms. It pained me today that Edwin is not alive to speak for himself. It pained me today that Edwin is not alive in one way or the other to speak for himself. The next thing, they say they gave me land in Nubiaza. Osabonye came out to say they gave me land in Nubiaza. That is why I'm not siding him. I went to meet Osabonye. Tell me why you said Ubiaza does not exist. Because I know that while you were having crisis, Ubiaza gave you land documents with their community approval. You accepted it and sold the land to a company. I have the documents with me even till tomorrow. Then after you finish exhausting that money, you now come out to say these people are seen it to refight them. Come on, you are the one causing the trouble there. And that Ubiaza is, belongs to the Ogiame family and however they go about their issues. So that was how I knew about Ubiaza. Never a time. And even on that Ubiaza crisis, the day they called me that Edwin was dead, I was in Firewood, Port Harcourt with my children. I just took my daughter out that day. And I was coming as I got back to the house with her. My other children said, Daddy, you left us in the house. I said, you people were sleeping. And I had to drive them back. As I was driving out back again, I received a call from Lucky. Say, no be small shooting, they go on. No. Edwin don't die. The boys, the way they shoot gun for road, they no agree, they rush Edwin to hospital. I said, are you okay? Haven't you called the DPO? Find any means possible to make sure that you rescue that guy. Let him know. If he died in a murder case, there in an echo. A phone conversation does not tell lies. If you go to the office of the NSA, you can still get it. Very much available. But they said a lot of things. People have come out to say, oh, that's how you do community crisis. So it's only me, Manolai. I will keep people in Ubiaza. I will keep people in Obagenevosa. I will keep people in Okoma. I will keep people in Obazabon. I will keep people in Ugozebao. Just like that, go on and on. At times, people carry my phone, they call me and say, look at what I have, I will refer them. I will write petitions. And I will tell them, do about your matter this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. So many communities, so many. But to tell you that go and carry gun and kill somebody, let one person come out to say this was how me and Emmanuel Bogun, how we plan to carry gun to go and kill one party or kill the other party. I don't do that. The moment you just even introduce that talk to me, that is it. That is why till tomorrow I have said I wash my hands out of anything that has to do with the coma. Their secretary is a very understanding man, the other secretary. He knows how many times I have told him that the moment you go to arms, I don't need to consult. He has called me and I said, no, look at it, point blank. Don't call me into those issues. There's nothing they did not promise me. Hey, they will do this, they will do that. Even the young man, Mokbai, who is my friend, who also assisted me in settling one of our diasporan brothers who bought property in Nubiaza's issue that he bought property for. I was able to settle that matter with Mokbai and Lucky, despite the property was sold to Edwin. The young man is still very much around the media space. He writes me once in a while. He has about 2 plots of land in Ubiaza and the building. So the people can attest. It's not something that is hidden. But what pains me is that when you see people that are coming out to tell lies, they are old men. Old men that knows that wherever they are going to and where they are coming from, their destination to leave Earth is very close. They will cause a catastrophe that would bring division in that community for donkey years. Before when we grow, they say we go see Oba, we go swear for power. Now they don't even take that one as anything. They don't see that as anything. So my conscious Edo people, I just want to appeal, particularly we that are Benin, I want to appeal that we should have a second phase. A second phase. As we're talking now, look at this Onyebuchi and Winlog says Stephen. He said, let it be on note that you, Emmanuel Esaibogun, is a questionable character. He's the only Edo cash activist advocating for a non-oppressor Joshua Edo. Is never in the good book of the society. Judging from his numerous atrocities meted out on prospective developers, you think God and our ancestors sleep, like they don't hear the cry of all the oppressed? Joshua Edo reign and rule in terror. Karma truly never forgives. So the karma you are talking about is going to burn his house, going to burn down his properties, loot his father's house. His father's house that was looted was still part of the karma. The other people supporting Joshua too, their houses that were burgled and looted was still part. It's only an illiterate or somebody who is not well learned, because you have learned men that are not read, that will talk the way you are talking. Because you don't want somebody out of office. Okay, what stops you from approaching the court? Get a judgment or from court, from even the customary court that won't take time. Get a judgment and get the police to enforce that judgment for you. What stops you? But because people believe in the battle of the gun, see, let me tell you, myself talking to you here, Barrister Jefferson Owoginye, myself and a few other civil rights activists, when Joshua slapped one cripple or so that was trying to, play or make with him, we took him to the magistrate court. Joshua came begging on his knees. Barrister Jefferson Owoginye is still alive, you can ask. Well, that does not mean because Joshua did it wrong before, when he's been oppressed, we should not say the truth. We should not say the truth. So my conscious Edo people, later in the day, I'm going to be having a calling section. I just said I should come up live to come and tell people why you see me talking about it. It's not like there's no benefit. Apart from say, I say, chair, hey boss, I hello, Chemo will give you one carton now. When you sit down, Chemo will put fuel for your motor now. You know, get everything. There's no community I have land. There's no community that I have land. And let me tell you, see what Mr. Ricky Smiley is saying, that you are the only person in the activist in the Edo that is always talking about land. Now, let me tell you, a lot of communities talk about land issues. But me, whatever thing I can defend in the closet, I will also defend it in the outside. That's why I'm different. A lot of communities talk about land issues. They write petitions here and there to different police formations for this community chairman. Some of them even stage manage protests, but will not come out to stand in front of the protest because they believe that they should be fighting from the corner. I don't fight from corner. I come out very open. Whatever action you see me do, I can defend it, and I'm not doing it because I believe I want to outsmart or oppress people. No, I'm doing it because I want those people who are victims to get justice. In the issue of those young men that were killed in Amaba by them Shiny and the co. Shiny, they used to come to my place in Ibuba Hill when they were having crisis in Amaba. They used to come and meet me in my house, in my office. But the moment I saw that they were derailing from what I told them not to do, they were not carrying arms. They felt it was too slow. I told them, I will not even join you. If you like, get the whole world, you won't see me there. That's one thing I hate. If you ask those people that know me very well, ask people that know me, I distaste oppression. And particularly when you are doing it violently, I don't like it. With the kind of oppression that people have done to me, I should be very brutal to say, let me do this one, let me do that one, this one. No. I leave it in the hands of God. That is why no matter how many times they tried, they've arrested me, they've taken me to police station, they've taken me to military, they've taken me. Why is it that they are still running? Those of them who are doing this thing, they are still running. Tell Uyigebo, tell these boys to come in the open and sit down and drink the way we go out and relax ourselves. They don't. You see them hiding 247. They are not at peace with themselves. because they know that there are skeletons in their cupboard. But the only thing that pains me is that the police that is meant to set the record straight, are always taking side with these criminals. They are always taking side with these criminals. And that is one area that we as a people must look into. By the time you see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 policemen going for arrest, one of them will go to the back and call, we don't dey come on and go hide. Because they give him 50,000, 100,000, he becomes an informant snitching on his police teams. I see before my very glare, the SSA to the governor was there, all the elderly statesmen were there. The chairman who police has been looking for, who they even declared wanted, said that, police, Nigerian police, as they are working for you, they are also working for them. They will be giving them information. I was shocked. I was shocked to my bone marrow. I was short of words. These are people who have killed, made several persons homeless. Just as I'm on this live broadcast now, there's a young lady that has been calling me. What happened? Her husband was killed in Obagi because he was working with the former chairman. The husband was killed. You can see her and you can see this young lady with this child. There are about 2 of them, 2 girls that gave birth to 2 boys, one boys for this young man with guy. It was Pastor Sawaru that I called to assist this girl in paying her children's school fees. The children's school fees. They are about in another term now. I think she will still be needing money. That's why she's calling to appeal to me to see what I can do. The high time Benin stop this thing, the better. If not for greed, in a community where there are not up to 500 people, and you have 60,000 plots of land, what stops them from sharing it equally or even developing it as an estate? Go to Aja. Those estates you see there belong to communities. You see them, they provide security, they manage waste, they do artisan work, bricklayer, iron bender and everything. They still operate the community, the estates in the community, and they earn a living out of it. But our own outright sales, you have sold for life. And I begin to wonder, very soon we'll be looking for land in Benin. We will not see with the way we are going. So once again, I remain no other person than yours, noble right activist. It was a heart-to-heart talk I just spoke out this evening, so people should not see it. And I challenge anybody from any of these communities I spoke about, show me or tell me where I have a plot or a parcel of land in this your community. It is born out of, my advocacy is born out of my passion to correct the wrongs. Born out of my passion to correct the wrongs, nothing more, nothing less. Nothing more, nothing less. So my conscious Edo people, it's a nice time staying out here with you guys this long. But later in the evening, I'll be coming up live where we're going to be having a call-in section, because I have seen that we must take the bull by the horn to put an end to this continuous reckless criminality abuses in Edo State. Because for crying out loud, we all know that an injustice to one is an injustice to all. So these are the simple reasons why I'm out. I do not have any issue with any group of persons, other than these folks who want to ensure that they, at every given time, they either spoil my name or castigate me or talk, bad about my person because they cannot stand the truth. I have accused a lot of institutions because of this, putting an end to this recklessness. I have also attacked individuals who I see going astray. That is why today you see a lot of people telling me I'm an enemy of Benin Kingdom. I'm an enemy of this. I'm an enemy of the palace. Yeah, I'm this one, I'm that one. That is it. So once again, I want to say thank you. For those of you who are out there, please, I want you all to assist me by sharing this broadcast. Share this broadcast, because we're going to be talking more and more and more about it. Once again, I remain no other person than yours, noble right activist. Is my simple way of contributing to society. I tell people I'm not a blogger. I don't blog. I don't do content. All I try to do is to pass right information out there. And at the end of the day, let the truth, let the truth lead. There are more we are going to be talking because people have asked me, somebody called me and said, you might talk more about solutions than interpreting these issues. When you report it to the police, be advising the society on what they should do. And that is the step I'm going into. Join me later in the day because we'll be talking the need for us to stop illiterates from becoming community heads, particularly Okaigeles. We should have that clause that illiterate people who are not well read, who did not go to school, who cannot read and write, should not be Okaigele in a community. Thank you and God bless you. Bye for now.
Now we don't hear from Emmanuel Agbogun. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things wey dey happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share am. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.